Unveiling the new bike, what's your first impressions of it?
Yeah, I mean, they're striking, aren't they? I think the pictures, like we've seen, we had some pre-release pictures, in the last few weeks, and they don't do it justice. I think, in the flesh, obviously combined with the kit and the helmet, it's a really striking look. But I think the bike itself, it's an evolution, isn't it, of the bike that we've ridden for the last 3 seasons. We've ridden the endurance model in rim brake and disc brake, and this is basically an aero evolution of that, really. So that combined with the bars, I think it's something we're really excited about. As I guess people know, we put a lot of emphasis on the aerodynamic side of the sport, and the innovation and optimising the equipment and the tyres and all these type of things. So the way the bike's been designed really ties into that. Really. So I think it's just looking forward to getting on it now and putting through its paces properly.
And the bike is going to stand out in the peloton. I mean, as soon as I saw the pictures of it, it was just so striking.
Yeah, no, it is. And we decided to add the orange this year, so the kit's got a heavy orange feature, and the helmets, again, is a bit of an evolution of the sort of blue and black that we've had the last few years. So it was definitely planned, and I guess it's the first time that we've really put some design work into a combination about every element. And I think that comes across when you see the full package all together, really. Yeah.
That's for your second camp, isn't it?
Yeah, so a lot of the guys have been in Calpe sort of at various points over the last couple of months. Colin's been based there for a couple of months as well, so people have been staying with him. And then really the idea was we'd do the launch of the new kit and bike, and then we'd all come together for a sort of 10-day camp in preparation for the season. So we're due to start a little bit later than we would traditionally in a normal year in sort of mid-March. So it ties in well, we get back, and then we've got sort of 5 days or so to sort of recover, and then straight into racing basically, right through March and into April, really. So, but no, the camp's a great opportunity we've got 8 new guys, so sort of to mix them with the existing group and get to know each other. Colin and Jacob Tipper and myself, we've put together a really nice programme of stuff mixing, work around fitness, but also some specific, exercises. And we're doing some exciting stuff with Alistair Brownlee and OTE out there for some different projects that we'll announce, through the year. So it should be really productive time over there, I think.
So the training camp is like, I would assume that this one will be looking at more top end stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
Ready for the racing.
Yeah, it's very race specific, very race oriented. So we'll do 3 blocks of work there, with one long endurance day, which is fairly typical, but then some real specific stuff built around replicating the demands of the racing that we'll encounter further down the line, into the season. So, and because it's so close, there's no question mark around overdoing it or whatever. We know exactly what we've got coming up and what we're preparing for, really. So.
And how do you find it when the new guys come in here? Is there like a little bit of a competitive edge there, them trying to sort of prove themselves, if you like?
Yeah, no, there is definitely, and that adds another dimension to the camp. We definitely don't want it to be a selection-based camp because we want to gel as a group. It's important for everyone to sort of see, I guess, the people that they're competing with internally for selection for some of the big events. I mean, the Tour Series, one of our big goals is only 5 riders each round, and the Tour Britain is only 6, and we're a squad of 16, so there's always going to be that internal competition. But I think that's something we're all aware of, and it's something that drives the sort of base level of the team up, and that's something that we try to communicate to everyone within the group.
Just take us back to when the actual team began, when you actually kicked it off. Back, I think was it NRG?
Yeah, I mean there's been before then even, but NRG, I guess NRG was the first time we were doing like the National Road Series, that type of thing. So I mean it's been a good few years, but there's always we're obviously North East based, and there's been that core group, and it's nice that Charlie's come back now. He was with us when we were Planet X, in sort of 2019, and then Harry's obviously was with us a little bit before he moved to Quebec last year. So that having those two together, I think, is really important, alongside some of the other new faces we've got. And some people aren't talking about Finn. I think Finn will be really good this year. He won the Under-23 National Series last year. He was really strong in the Tour Series, and he sort of just seems to slip under the radar. So there's names like that, I think, that we expect to come to the fore, as well as our more established names as well. Yeah.
And what about yourself? Because last year you were doing triathlon. Same this year, or you?
Yes. So pretty heavy triathlon focus, but I think now we've got a more normal calendar. More regular racing. I'll look to support the team, where I can and fill gaps and that type of thing. So I'm going to be doing some of the sort of more local stuff and some of the goals that we have domestically as well. Yeah.
The final race training camp's taking place for the next 10 days, is it, or something like that?
Yeah, so we're back 6th March, so then we've got basically that a week at home to recover, and then we do the Eddie Sowens and Ruption, which is the first round of the Holland Cup on the 13th. Then we have a period where we've got a few domestic races that we're sort of almost having rehearsals within, in terms of the team structure and how we try and execute. One of them is Corville, which is really local to Col, so we'll be putting some emphasis on some of the national Bs for the rest of March, and then we go to Loire in France, which is our first stage race in early April. So we want to be sort of coming off the back of the camp, getting some good race practice in and firing all cylinders really for that. It's our first big objective, I guess, this season.
Well, I guess it's like 3 years now since we had a full season.
Yeah, it is.
I guess it's going to be a bit of a learning curve.
It is, and I think we want to get back to where our emphasis was in, I guess, 2019, 2018. We want to be racing to win regularly in the UK. We've got some fantastic British brands that back the team, and success is important to us and important to them. So we'll still be placing a strong emphasis on the foreign programme, as we have done in the past and successfully last year. But we'll also be racing in the UK and being prominent there as much as we possibly can across all sort of levels really. So I think, and in time trialling, I guess, as well, we can never forget that. So that we're putting a lot of emphasis there with our internal group. Obviously Dan's gone, but Jacob and Watchshop is still consulting with us there, so we're still looking for all those performance elements that we can get from the time trialling and bringing that back over to the road as well. So yeah, there's a lot to go at, but I think we're all really excited that we've got a really strong domestic programme right from March that we can get stuck into really. It's definitely something that we've missed, over the last few years.
And a quick word on Sowens. I mean, you won that last year, so I guess that's quite an important way to start.
No, it is, and it's very British, isn't it, in terms of the handicap and the entry element and different things. So, we'll probably be a bit tired there from the back of the camp, but we've got a strong team, so we'll be looking to animate the race and get stuck in and really start the year as we mean to go on.
So finally, are we going to see these new bikes at that event?
That's it, yeah. We'll all be on these, so we're using the Ultra. The Ultra SLR is the model, but we'll be using that predominantly for a lot of the British stuff. And then we still have the Endurance SLR as well for sort of the more hilly races or the stage races and stuff. So we've got both of those at our disposal. But I think the Ultra is definitely the one that we'll see the most use.